They say you are what you eat, so I don't eat chicken feet. But I love me some of Grandma's pickled beets. Well, cut it up, put it in the pan, throw it over your shoulder and see where it lands right here in Farmer's Kitchen. Maters, taters, beans and corn, the cows in the barn and the sheep's been shorn, kids in the barnyard chasing Grandpa's chicken. Spices, slices, cuts and dices, gonna slash your grocery prices right here in Farmer's Kitchen. Help you grow your garden good with recipes to suit your mood. Try some grub you've never tried before. Smash it with a wooden mallet. Gonna educate your palate. Right here in Farmer's Kitchen. In Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen. We're gonna cook something good now.
Funding for Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen is brought to you by the City of Stanford, Kentucky. Come back home to Stanford. L81 Bottling Company. Taste, love, and share the tradition. Woods Equipment Company has every tool you need to make working the land as rewarding as hunting it.
Hello and welcome to Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen. We went around the world in Kentucky on a little adventure, a food adventure. Mm-hmm. You know what? This is kind of an interesting show. Now, we're stuck inside because the weather's bad, and it seems like the last couple times it has been. We're going to get back outside very shortly, trust me. We got to visit with the animals. Last time we said that, it started raining and we couldn't do that.
Right.
So we got to catch up. Everybody's doing well.
Yes,
got babies coming out our ears.
Yeah, we do. Too many.
But let me tell you how this show's going to pan out.
Okay.
The other night, you and I were hungry.
Right.
Okay. So we're always looking for that new recipe. You know what?
We're always hungry, too.
We're always hungry. Went to Longhorns and got that recipe and kind of made it our own. It's not exactly what they did, but it was a great idea.
It was delicious.
And I talked to Doug, who runs that restaurant. He said, hey, he gave us the thumbs up. So anytime we want to steal anything from him, we can.
Okay.
But there are certain places here in Frankfort, you know, that we go to. And we were really in the mood for something good. Mm-hmm. So we stopped by Serafini's. Now, Serafini's has been kind of the place to go in Frankfort for, I think, since early 2000s.
Really?
So they have a really good chef down there. Mm-hmm. So we sat down and we were trying to determine what to eat. They read us the specials. They had seafood. Mm-hmm. And you had
scallops, always.
If there's any kind of scallops, she's going to take that. I was kind of torn. They had some shrimp that night, and we were on a seafood kick.
Right.
But I kept looking and seeing this thing called Vito's sausage.
You love sausage.
Carbonara.
Yeah.
Okay, and I keep wanting to say carbonaro because there's a new show on called Carbonaro.
That's a funny show.
Carbonara sauce, which is a really tasty, cheesy, eggy, yummy sauce. But every now and then, you taste something that's a little bit different. I ordered it. I got the plate, and it was a very delicious looking plate. I saw the sausage, went immediately for the sausage, popped it in my mouth, and it was like, pow. It was beautiful.
You were so happy.
Now, I said, what's the story on this? And he said,
they're right out of Versailles, right here close.
Versailles, Kentucky. You got to be kidding me, because it tasted so authentic, so Italian.
So you got on your phone.
So the next morning, I went up to the office, got on the phone, got a hold of Renee, and we started this whole process and found out about a Vito's. Now, this whole thing went round the circle, and we went on this little journey just off of one product. Then I found out, as we progressed, that the chef who made it was very happy to give us this recipe, and I already put it in the State Journal in Frankfort and said, hey, here's what we do. And it's a very simple recipe. Now, just a little while ago, I have to admit, you noticed there should be 2 more there?
Yeah, they're missing.
I put that on the grill. I'm telling you what.
You liked it, didn't you?
It's delicious. Yeah. I don't know. There's something in there, and there's the robust and there's the mild, that I can almost eat it raw, but I probably shouldn't.
Don't do it.
Now, one thing I like is the fact that it's frozen.
Right.
Therefore, you don't have to put a bunch of preservatives in it. And when you look at the list of ingredients on it, I like it to be as natural as it can.
Right.
Well, that's the case with this. So tonight we're going to make that recipe, but first, let's take a path. First of all, we're going to visit with the people who make this particular sausage. Mm-hmm. We're going to visit with Renee. She's going to tell us about the family story that goes back 150 years.
Wow.
And it tastes authentic.
Right.
It has that
Smells
taste to
good,
it.
something good.
But we got to go get the product too. We're going to find out that there's some greens and tomatoes and stuff out there that's from Kentucky being grown right now. Then we're going to actually go down and talk to the chef that came up with this recipe, who shared it with us and shared it with the world. So let's take a little trip, and we'll be back here to make this very simple recipe in just a little bit. Now, you're not a sponsor, not anything like that, but this is absolutely wonderful. This is Renee, and so I had this experience. The kid says it's from Vito's in Versailles. I said, you got to be kidding me. So next day I got on the phone, I called you.
Track me down.
And I said, how does this thing work? Where do I get this? And if I was to have just met you and said, where do you get this? You'd tell me.
I would tell you in Frankfort, you can get it at Danny Bryan's Pick Pack.
Gotcha.
If you want to fix it for yourself. If you want it made for you, Serafini's. Chef Tim McCowan will do you right.
So this is a Kentucky Proud product?
It is indeed. We have it processed at Boone's in Bardstown. We've been working with them for 8 years or so.
But I can imagine just putting one of those on the grill. No, 2, maybe 3.
Well, a package of 5 with onions and peppers and a hoagie bun.
This is not some fly-by-night recipe. This goes way back. Am I correct?
Way back in the Guagliardo family, Mama Rosa Storniello learned from her mother, who learned from her mother, outside of Naples, Italy, and Eboli, Italy. So my father-in-law, who's now 90 years old, has been in his family for generations.
So, how did Vito get here in Kentucky?
His mother came to the United States, to Poughkeepsie in the 20s. Her son Vito came to Lexington with IBM, and he was making Vitos, selling it to friends and family, Lex Italia back in the day. But what he would do was do the 4th of July parade in Lexington, and they would sell those hoagie sandwiches with onions and peppers, and I would see people lined up
I bet
around
you
the
could
block.
smell it a mile away.
People said they came down every year just to get this sandwich, and that's when I knew I could sell this sausage.
Well, the reason we're featuring it is, first of all, because it tastes delicious, but it's Kentucky.
We sell it frozen because there's no preservatives, there's no MSG, there's no nitrates, and that allows us to sell it without those things in it by selling it
I
frozen.
would prefer to have it like that.
Right.
I would much prefer to have it like
Right.
that. Well, I want to thank you so much. You see how our show comes about. It's
do.
very spontaneous, it's very real.
I'm a
This
fan.
week's show was absolutely spontaneous. When that hit the back of my tongue, I'm like, got to find out where this is from. When I found out all this stuff is from Kentucky, you folks are here. That's so cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And if people want to find out more, how do they do that?
VitosItalianSausage.com.
On to the recipe.
Yay!
Christy Maggard, we are back.
How
Let me
are
tell you
ya?
what happened. You know how we are. We're searching for local stuff and good stuff. Of course, we know everything's here. But what I'm looking for today, tell me if you have it, Vito's Italian sausage.
You know we do.
You know, and something else that I like a salad, obviously, with a meal like that. And I like the stuff that's really bad for you. And I looked at it the other day, and there's 240 calories per tablespoon.
Oh, right.
So Nikki was talking about her grandfather, who came over from the old country. He's Greek. And every salad he had was balsamic vinegar and oil.
Yes.
And so I tried it the other night.
Yeah, it was good.
I thought, this is not going to be good. It was delicious.
Well, let me show you.
Show me.
We have local olive oil. It's Fresh First Local Olive Oil. And Bill Sanders, right here, one of our profile.
I met him. He's from Maysville.
Yes, fantastic stuff. This is award-winning Fresh First Extra Virgin Olive Oil. And I was just using some fresh local greens. And there you go.
And we're good to go.
We're good to go.
Put that in my cart, if you will.
Awesome. Will do. And then this is actually local right here. The English cucumbers.
Wonderful. From London?
From London.
And this stuff here is from Franklin County?
Yes. Beyond the bridge. And then look at these. This is from Lexington. I mean, this is just beautiful local greens.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
you
and
know
the
what else? We
mushrooms.
need mushrooms for
Yes,
this recipe.
these are great.
Oh, you know, one thing I'm going to need for this recipe is heavy cream.
Awesome.
We're getting there.
That's local. Okay, so
Christy,
here
there
it
I
is
see
down
it.
here at the bottom. Lots of different.
Now I know that that's the mild, and this is the little more spicy.
Robust, it says.
And it is robust.
It is robust. Oh, yes.
I'm going to take this one right here for now.
Perfect.
This is what we want. We want
Perfect.
the robust for this
Perfect.
recipe. And you said that you like
Yes.
this particular sausage.
This right here, Foothills patties. They are,
Just thaw them out, set them out. Next morning, you're ready to go.
especially cook them in one of your cast iron skillets. Be
Your daughter
perfect.
likes this, is what she said.
Ate 3 in one sitting. She'd probably die that I'm saying that, but she's only 6, so you'll be okay.
Well, we're almost there. Well, now we got to go talk to Serafini's.
Perfect.
Thank
Enjoy.
you so much. We're downtown Frankfort. I found this cat named Tim McGowan. I want to give you a fist bump for the recipe that I had down here the other night.
Thank you very
All
much.
right. As you can see, there's traffic going by. This is Serafini's. First of all, give us a little history on Serafini's. How long has this been here?
We took over from a place called Daniels, and then it used to be Bullfrogs as far as a Frankfort Historical Society kind of thing. We've been here since 2001. We're sister restaurants with Portofino in Lexington. I've been going back and forth between Frankfort and Lexington since 2001, so I kind of know the ins and outs.
If you had a mission statement here at Serafini's as chef, what would it be? What would you say?
We try to use as much local ingredients as we can when it's available and when it's the buzzword sustainable, but we want to try to give the farmers first choice. If it doesn't work out, then we try to use as much regional stuff as possible from the surrounding states. Just try to have a good time, a good meal, and some good drinks.
The other night, we were trying to figure out where to eat, and we were dressed fairly decently. I wasn't in my shorts and flip-flops, but you could do that here.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But I wanted something substantial, I wanted something good, and I wanted to have some good smells, good taste, good atmosphere, so we came to Serafini's. Sat down, and I was struggling because you had some seafood on there. And I kept seeing this Vito's. I'm a Godfather fan, so
That's right.
I'm
Yeah.
paying attention to stuff
Something like that, yeah.
So I'm like, what is Vito's Carbonara? So at this point, the next day, I called Renee, found out about their product,
Right.
and then I said, whose recipe? And I couldn't imagine that maybe the recipe could be shared, because I was going to try to make something like it. She says, well, it's already out there, and Tim would be glad for you to do this. So I'm like, so your recipe was in the State Journal.
3 months ago, they had an article about local restaurants, their signature dish.
Right.
And we're kind of thinking about, what's our signature dish, and I said, well, this thing's been on our menu for about 4 or 5 years, so it's kind of adopted itself as its signature. So we gave it a try, and the rest is history.
So we got your thumbs up to go to the house and try your recipe.
That's correct.
How did you come up with that recipe?
With Serafini, we're kind of known for a little bit of Italian, a little bit of Southern roots, and kind of an amalgamation of both things. Much like Italian and Southern dishes, they come out of necessity. Carbonara is a dish of necessity. You have pretty much what's left over from the night before. It's got sausage and ham, fresh snap peas and mushrooms early in the springtime. You put them all together and you pretty much have a healthy meal, a hearty meal that gets you through the day.
That's absolutely delicious. How did you find out about Vito's?
I'm from Woodford County too, just like she is. It was either she was recommended by one of the other restaurants to come down. It's always good when reps bring food with them. She had a plate full of sausage and peppers, and we just kind of ate and just talked it over, and I think this pretty much tops what we were using, so it's, we set up an account, and the rest is history. We use several of our other products in the restaurant too, so it's a nice little match.
I can imagine that with a red bean and rice.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
so many ways you could go with that. Well, let me ask you this: do you do any Dutch oven cooking?
In your
private time.
yeah, definitely.
What's the chance of you coming out to the cabin and cooking something up for us?
If you show me the way, I might get there.
I'll give you the address. Thank you so much. Wonderful
You're very
recipe.
welcome.
And if you're not wanting to make this for yourself, or you're too busy, I'd say come on down to Serafini's.
Absolutely, we'll be here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Tim.
Now, you know what? I like me a good salad.
I do too.
And the salad would be a perfect salad with Kentucky greens.
Yum.
But you know what? Here lately, I started looking at the ingredients for some of my favorite secret indulgences, which is ranch dressing. Could you drink
Yeah.
I could drink a bottle of ranch
I
dressing.
dip everything in ranch.
Okay, a tablespoon can have up to 250 calories. A tablespoon.
Wow, so I shouldn't dip my fries in that.
Well,
Okay.
don't tell all the secrets. So, you think about that. If you got a big salad
Right.
and you think, okay, hey, I'm
Being healthy.
I'm going on a diet here, and I'm going to the buffet, and I'm going to build this huge salad. And you think about, okay, I'm going to put this much ranch and that much ranch. You go
3,000 calories of ranch.
so each dip, so you can have 1,000 calories in no
Yeah.
time in dressing.
Yeah.
So as we get older, once we passed 30 last year, we really started taking care
now
of.
that we're 31.
We're trying to take care of ourselves. But you know what? I have found something recently. Your grandfather, what did he have on his salad every time?
Oil and vinegar, that's it.
Oil and vinegar. So we found this particular olive oil, and this fella is from Maysville. We're going to find out more about him very shortly up in my old stomping grounds.
Yeah.
Now, there's like maybe 100 calories in this, but it's the good kind of fat. Very little fat, but it's the
Right.
good kind. Balsamic vinegar. Vinegar, they're finding out, has all kinds of wonderful medicinal values. 10 calories. So you can go, drizzle it how you like it and make your own salad. But I really thought it was going to be bland the other night.
It's good.
It was delicious.
So we're going to be healthy on the salad and kind of bad on the main. Okay.
This is all natural stuff. It's okay.
Okay. All right.
All right, let's get started on this because I'm starving, you're starving. And I actually have Tim's recipe right here, which I'm going to follow. And we have some Vitos, the ones that I didn't eat on the grill.
Okay. Well, we have some
And
left.
this is the robust. Now you could use the mild if you don't want it. And this is not enough to really light you up, but it does have some
Yeah.
spice to it. And it's really good. These are some Kentucky mushrooms. We just found those at the store, and we're going to cut those up into reasonable sized slices.
Like that?
Yep, perfect. Here's our ingredients: 2 tablespoons of oil, 1/4 pound of cooked sausage. Now it's sliced. 1/2 cup of mushrooms. We're using shiitakes. 1/4 cup of bacon or prosciutto. Now we're going to use prosciutto. A tablespoon of garlic minced. We have fresh garlic. We're going to use a 1/4 cup of green peas. Now if they're frozen, I talked to Tim, which we have, they hold up a little bit better. We're going to use 1 cup of cream. This is all natural from JD Country Milk down in Russellville, Kentucky. 1/2 a teaspoon of pepper, pinch of salt, 1/4 cup of grated, I think we have Parmesan, 8 ounces of linguine cooked, and 1 beaten egg. Now we're going to warm the oil in a saute pan. We're going to add the sausage and render out the remaining fat. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is just cook these a little bit so they'll be easier to cut. If you tried to cut these, just raw, it'd be hard to do. Now again, Tim might do this differently, so I can't pretend to be Tim, but I'm gonna try. All right, so you've diced our garlic. We're gonna put our mushrooms. I've reduced the heat. Man, doesn't that
Yum. Those
smell
mushrooms
good.
look amazing.
Now we've lowered our heat because we don't want to burn that garlic. We're just going to cook this down till the mushrooms soften up a bit and the garlic is nice and toasted. Now I like to cook in cast iron a lot, and this is actually a large pan right here that they have. It's
Nice
not,
pan.
It's not the big huge cast iron stuff, but it's better for this type of stuff in the
Right.
kitchen. All right, at this point, we want everything to come together at the same time. I'm going to go ahead and I'll have you drop some linguine in there. And
How much you want of that?
Oh, about 8 ounces, enough for us. Maybe a little bit more. Let's go half of it. How about that? All right, now our garlic is toasted, not burnt. We'll come back with our cup of cream. All right, so we're going to come in with our peas.
I love peas.
You do. You know
do.
what? It calls for a 1/4 of a
little
cup,
extra.
but I know you like them, so
I love them.
I'll give you a few more
Thank
peas.
you.
Now we're going to reduce this.
Yum.
It's starting to look kind of familiar, isn't it?
It is.
All right, we have reduced appropriately. That's the right color. All right, now we're going to come back with our cheese. And this is
Yum.
grated Parmesan.
Wow.
And that's maybe a little more than a 1/4 cup.
That's okay. We like cheese.
That's okay.
Because didn't he say do what you want?
He said, do what you want.
Yeah.
He gave us license to change it up a tiny bit if we wanted to do so. All right, now we've added our cheese. Look how it's thickening up. Now we're going to come back with salt and pepper. Black pepper. You got to have some black pepper.
Oh, yeah.
You know why?
Why?
Because the pepper bandit demands that we use more pepper.
He loves his pepper, doesn't he?
He does love his pepper. All right, salt, a little bit more. We got a beaten egg waiting on us over here. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to take this off the heat. I'm going to let that set for just a second. Oh, man, can you smell it?
I'm ready.
Now, what we're going to do is off the heat. Let's go ahead and put that egg in there. We're going to mix that up. And then we're going to put that, go ahead and just put it over top of that.
You're going to stir?
Mix it in. That came out of one of our chickens very recently. Okay, I'm going to let you, two-handed person. Oh my, look at that.
Yum.
Now I think his presentation was prettier, but look at that.
Looks pretty good to me. What do you think? Good?
Oh yeah. Now, that was probably one of the simplest recipes we've done, but we already know what this tastes like.
So we shouldn't eat it?
We shouldn't eat it. Let's just look at it for a minute. Let's look at the beauty.
It is beautiful.
And the smell. You know what? This is so easy to do with a minimal amount of ingredients, and you have this wonderful, authentic sausage here.
The sauce is amazing. Wow.
150-year-old recipe. Now, if you want a more beautiful and probably slightly better version of this, go try Chef Tim's.
Yeah, he makes it look,
Serafini
makes it really
but
good.
you know what? This is a pretty good second rate. Those flavors just keep coming out and keep coming out and keep coming out. It's robust, as they say, but I can't put my finger on it. That's a great thing about a family recipe. I don't want to know everything.
Right.
That's a great secret. And speaking of something that's not a great secret, everybody knows about it, but if you don't, you need to find out about Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen Facebook page and like it. Also, timfarmerscountryKitchen.com if you missed a recipe or some visits we've had with the grandchildren.
That's right.
Who we're about due for another visit.
They're coming in July, I think.
We haven't seen the critters because every time we're shooting, it seems like it's raining.
Right.
Or
And they're getting big.
dismal out.
I can't even pick those dogs up anymore. They're as big as their parents.
Good weather, really good weather's right around the corner.
Yes.
And the puppies are not.
They're not puppies
like you
anymore.
say, they're not tiny anymore. You know what? This has been a fun show. It just goes to show you how setting down and eating a meal, something as simple as that, you taste something, you see something, you track it down, there's a story behind it. Is it not cool that what we're eating right now is a 150-year-old recipe that Vito's grandmother made in the old country?
It's right in Versailles.
Right in Versailles, they're still holding that tradition. And then we go to eat out, we find the story, we go on a search. It seems like a lot of work for a meal. But man, oh man, that's the great thing about food. There's a story behind it.
Right.
One more opportunity I don't want to miss is to eat this before it gets cold. So we'll now close with it's all about
good times,
good friends,
good eats.
To order a cookbook or DVD of the show, please call 502-319-0487 or email timfarmerck@gmail.com. Special thanks to Furniture World Superstore, Housewarmings, Lodge Cast Iron, Tater Knob Pottery and Farm. Funding for Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen is brought to you by Good Foods Co-op, Kentucky Sheep and Wool Producers Association, and the Kentucky Goat Producers Association, Marksbury Farm Market, Weisenberger Mill, Your Village Shop, Diamond Gusset Jeans, the original Gusset Jean, careful craftsmanship, continual improvement. Diamond Gusset Jeans, born and worn in the USA since 1987.